Hello everyone, my name is Almuzian. I'm a specialist orthodontist based in Scotland. I'd be delighted to share with you some intermaxillary elastic tip and a way to choose your elastic. Well, there are several ways to choose the proper and appropriate elastic force, and before we start you should know that each ounce is equivalent to around 30 grams and 1 inch is equivalent to 25 millimeter. This is important for you so you'll understand the prescription of the elastic on the package. You should know that with regard to the force written on the package of the elastic, that force will be delivered only when the elastic stretched 3 times of its diameter. So this means that we need to stretch the elastic 3 times in order to achieve that force written on the pack. So there are 3 ways to choose the right elastic. We can eyeball it, and this is mainly depend on the skill and experience of the clinician. You can use a force gauge, and ideally you will determine how much force you need, or you can do the mathematical analysis, which is important for you to understand. Well, first of all, you should know that this is the amount of the force. This is in ounce that's required to move the teeth. So in total, if we have non-extraction, we need around 5 ounce per side, and in total 10 ounce on both sides. And when we have non-extraction case, usually we run the elastic from the area between upper canine to the lower 6 or 7. So when it's come from here to here, it's called conventional class 2 elastic. When it's coming from the area between the upper canine to the lower 5, it's called short class 2 elastic, and sometimes it's go to the molar, it's called long class 3 elastic. Long class 2 elastic, and the same for a class 3 elastic. So if you have non-extraction, this means that you have all these teeth, and this means that you need these cumulative force in order to move them. And we have different sizes, and if you put the information that I already explained before in context, you will find that we need actually 5/16 or 3/8 elastic in which will, when it will be stretched 3 times of this length, it will deliver the force, and we need around 6 ounce in order to move the teeth. So for a longer class 2 conventional class 2 elastic, we need to use 5/16 in general, which is with around 6 or 6.5 of ounce. Now, if you have an extraction, usually the gap will be less because you have extracted premolars, and this means that the distance between the force of application of the elastic will be 18 millimeter, and we need around 3 ounce per side. And the best wire that when it's stretched 3 times of its length will produce 3 ounce is actually the 3/16 and 1/4, because 1/4 is around the diameter of 1/4 inch is around 6 millimeter, and when it's stretched 3 times it's 18 millimeters. So this is the right one, and we need to choose a force which is 3.5 or 4.5. For if you have 2 unit extraction only, and this means in the upper or lower, usually you will have 4 ounce, and you need around 22 millimeter stretch of the elastic, which means that you need to choose an elastic that it has 7 millimeter diameter, so when it's stretched it will produce the right force. And the best elastic is this one, and this is the best force. Anyway, you might feel that's confused rather than benefited from this presentation, but I have summarized it to you, and this is based on this study which has been published recently, and it showed that the best elastic for settling 2 teeth is 1/4 inch, 2 ounce. The best elastic for intermaxillary extraction cases is 1/4 inch, 3.5, and the best elastic for intermaxillary non-extraction, when I say intermaxillary I mean class 2 or class 3, is the 6 ounce, and for box settling elastic the best force is the best elastic is 2 ounce. So in summary, this paper showed that a 1/4 inch elastic is actually adequate for almost all our needs. However, in my clinic, I use the following protocol. You can print this and label it and put it in the cupboard so it will be easy for you to refer to. If you are using short or conventional class 2 elastic, short this means that it extends to the 5, whether it's class 2 or class 3, and the cases on extraction, then use 1/4 inch 6.5, which is Mexico if you are buying it from OrthoCare. If it is a long class 2 or class 3 elastic, in non-extraction case, again use 516, which is Japan. If you are using short or conventional class 2 and class 3 elastic, and the case is extraction, then you need less, smaller diameter, and in this case, 1/4 inch, 6.5 ounce is adequate, and you can use India. And of course, if you are using a long class 2, class 3 elastic in extraction case, then go for the UK. Again, these are nomenclature that's used with some elastic. It might be different from company to company, but this is what Orthocare are using. And if you are using a settling elastic for 2 teeth, one in the top, one at the bottom, then use 1/4 inch. Even you can go for 40, two in the top, 2 in the bottom. Use 1/4 inch, 2.5 ounce elastic, which is USA. And for anterior box settling elastic, use 516, 4.5, even 2.5 you can use it, but I prefer to use 4.5, and which is the UK. This is in summary. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much.